Hello, is this working? Oh my goodness. Hi everybody. Welcome to the stream. We have a guest today, but you know what? She's late. Or is she? Who knows? Yeah, welcome to the live show. It's gonna be really great. I'm really excited. The book is Of Curses and Kisses by Sandhya Menon, and I'm really excited. Hi, Vanessa.
Hello.
You're just a little bit late, but you know what? It's okay.
It's 1 minute.
Yeah, anyways, I'm really excited to start talking about Of Curses and Kisses.
Yep.
It's actually pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like. Okay, I'm gonna let you take the flow because I don't know what this is.
No, it's think of it as a discussion.
Think of this as a Socratic seminar. Any questions, comments, and
No,
insights?
absolutely not. There's no Socratic seminar here. Anyways, let's start about what we rated it. What did you rate it? I rated it 4 stars.
Okay, I did not rate it, but I'm gonna rate it
Oh.
now. 3.8. Yeah.
Okay. Do you really do the like point stuff?
I don't know. I'm not very used to rating books. I just don't think it's a 4, but I also think 3.5 is kind of mean. Like it's not
Oh.
it's definitely better than a 3.5, but I don't think it's a 4 because 4 is like a really good rating, you know?
I see.
Yeah. You see.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I did
Yeah.
enjoy it. I think
Mm-hmm.
I like retelling, so the Beauty and the
Mm-hmm.
Beast retelling was really nice. This is probably why I gave it a 4 star. But like there definitely was some aspects as to why I didn't give it a 5.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? It's not
Yeah.
cooking right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Just gonna talk about this. Just gonna have a conversation. Okay, I'll start then. I guess.
Yes.
Let's start with the main character, Jaya. How'd you find her?
Jaya, she was interesting. I mean, I did like her.
Mm-hmm. I think she's the
Okay.
star of the show. Like she's my favorite character, I think, and I really like that. I really like how she's like. I feel like a lot of the times the common perspective in books is like, I'm the rebel, I'm the one that's not like other girls, or I don't want to be like my family. My family is stupid. But it's very interesting that she's the one like enforcing the family values on her sister. That I find very interesting. So I think that was an interesting perspective to come by, and certainly it set out like a very clear path for her character development. So we know where she's going to end up, which in writing it's like it's a like it's a technique. I think it's called a promise. So like you set a promise, and so readers have that in their minds, and so they want to see that happen, and they want to find out how that happens. So I think that was really interesting because I wanted to find out how she got through that arc. I wanted to find out how she finally was like, you know what, people nice. I'm important. Yeah. So I think that was yeah, that was good.
I think the one thing that I liked about Jaya was that like this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so I'm gonna like go back and forth. But I think the one thing was like she was very strong. She knew what she wanted to do. Like she went to Saint Rosetta's purely just because she wanted like revenge on Grey. And it's like I think she was just a really strong character, and I like that.
Yeah. I just Okay. I think she carried the story. I think she was my favorite character.
Mhm.
And you know what? What's so great about her? She feels like a high schooler. Like she feels like someone you could meet. You know, like obviously because of her royal background, she's a little different, but she doesn't seem like super unrealistic. Uh, and like not a lot of characters hit that spot for me. Um, so like if you know like Infernal Devices, like Tessa feels 20. I'm 16 and when I read her, I feel like I'm reading someone who's like infinitely older than me. And I feel like when I get to the age of 20 and I read her, I'm still gonna feel like she's older than me, you know? But
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I guess Jaya was written like she's a high
yeah,
schooler and she definitely feels like a high schooler.
you know,
If you could,
yeah,
yeah, I agree with that.
you know.
And
Mm-hmm,
the one thing that I also liked, like the way you said that she
mm-hmm,
was very enforcing on the family values.
mm-hmm.
I like that about it. Like I think
Yeah,
that's really important, especially because she was the oldest and
yeah,
she was taught to like
yeah.
become she was the heir, so she like
Mm-hmm,
had to really follow it. I
mm-hmm.
think that's like really
Yeah,
shows how you know.
it's just such a fresh perspective as well, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of the time you're in the perspective of like the rebel, like her sister, you know. But this time you're in her perspective, which
Hmm.
yeah. And I feel like that alone creates like a lot of good plot tension without having to be like overly dramatic or something.
Hmm. Like I was expecting, so there were some parts where I was like cringing because I was so nervous as to
Mm-hmm.
like the things that would happen, but I must say it wasn't as it was like I don't know, for me I think the plot wasn't as heavy as I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna sit down for half a second. Um,
Are you standing?
yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
like to stand sometimes. But I just had a club. I just had a club meeting, and so I've been standing for like over an hour. So I want to sit down. Anyway,
Hmm.
yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, okay. Let's talk about Gray because I feel like if you're talking about cringing, I know what scene it is. Um.
What's I'm talking about the whole book in general, but what scene are you
Ah.
talking about?
It's the one where he was trying to get the diamond
Oh, from during
from
the
her
winter.
during from her dorm. Oh wow, my room is so messy. Anyway, yeah. Like I like that scene. I mean, I feel like that scene was just like character dumb, you know.
Like
It's like
okay, yeah, like he was obviously gonna get caught. I think that was
yeah,
something that was very obvious.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I also feel like the stone, the stone being
Yeah.
like her pendant being the stone was a little bit like obvious as well. You know,
True.
like I'm not too sure why she needed like the whole aspect of like the stone
Mhm.
ending up in like Dubai or something and then being crafted into I'm not sure why that tension was like necessary. It could have just been like they stole the diamond that was in the shape of a rose uh and like
Mhm.
it somehow got handed back to her or something. I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't know. It's
Okay.
just
Hmm. For me, when you start, you start.
I just felt like it was so needlessly complicated for a plot point that was so obvious. It's just yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For me, the rose,
Hmm.
I'm thinking of like a literal rose. Like it's like bulky, not like huge, but like
Hmm.
it's like what does this pendant look like? Like in my mind, it's like a solid rose, like 3D ish. You know,
Hmm.
I don't know what pendant.
I was seeing it as like it was like it had metal around it, you know. Like it had a grill, and then there were like stones inputted inside it. I'm not good at describing this.
Oh, like for example, a
Yeah,
ruby. Rubies
yeah,
just
right. It was
shaped
ruby.
as petals.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wish my brain thought of that. But
that was
my
what I
brain
thought
thought
of.
of it as a physical rose for some reason.
Mm,
I feel like that would have been a weird like necklace to have.
yeah, not just weird. It would have been weird for how it fell out. Like I've seen
True.
necklaces looking like those roses, but I would, they just don't fall out like that, as was described in the book. Yeah,
Mhm. Also, yeah, what I find interesting. Okay, let's go back to Gray for a second.
we never got there,
Gray.
but let's go there.
True, we never actually started talking about.
Yeah, I have so much to say.
Like, you go first because I want to hear what you want to say about him.
He kind of boring. Sorry.
Yeah, he was very plain.
Yeah.
Like, I liked him, but I
Hmm.
think he needed more,
Uh-huh.
a little bit spark.
You
I
know
don't
what I
know.
feel like it is? Um, there's like characterization and then there's backstory. I felt like in his case there was a lot of backstory, but not enough of like characterization. Because you know how sometimes they can complement each other, like in Jay's case that it does. But just in Gray's case, it was I felt like his only personality was just his like tortured past, which isn't that's not how humans work, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had no likes. He only seemed to have dislikes. This kind of arbitrary. He had no other insecurities. He was supposed to be
Except
big buff.
for the
Yeah, yeah.
curse.
He was supposed to be big buff dude, but it's like it's never does he doesn't play sports. He doesn't like enjoy working out. Like
True, we don't actually know what he likes. Like, he liked talking about books, and then maybe archery from that
no,
one
yeah,
singular class.
but even in that, like he doesn't have like a passion in any of them either. You know, like
Uh, yeah.
like okay. So also he likes reading, right? He likes reading, and so like he probably has like a very deep mind, big brain moment, a lot of deep thinking. I just he could because he's so like into reading these books. It could be like a philosophical thing. He could be like he could have wondered if he was just believing in the curse out of fear. To what degree does fear influence us as humans, or something deeper than just like Papa Scary, Papa Scary, Rouse Scary, Curse Scary, I scared. You know, like I mean, if he were that deep, he would have known he's being irrational, and so like questioning why he was irrational would have been interesting, right? Just like how what was that side character's name? The one that was like
French one?
the one no the girl that was like the girl that was like smooching the popular girl's boyfriend.
Oh, DE, Daphne Elizabeth.
Yeah, yeah. Like I feel like even DE's personality was more interesting because like she had to go through like a legitimate like dilemma, between like not getting enough attention, which she was self-aware of, and also just like getting the attention because like now she's finally got it. So that was an interesting thing to like see, but I feel like Gray was just kind of like sore about his character tension, never really explored it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting.
What do you feel about Gray?
Great. Okay. I mean, even though I had the physical book, I actually read it as an audiobook because I was also multitasking on some work that we had to do. We're not going to talk about that though. So, but um I thought Gray was interesting. I liked his narrator. the person who narrated Gray. I think maybe that's why I enjoyed his character.
Maybe.
But now that you're mentioning it, yeah, he was. I don't know. He definitely didn't seem like he had hobbies or anything that he actually enjoyed. So now that I think of it, yeah, he does sound a little bit boring.
Yeah. A little bland, you know. Because
Yeah,
usually these kind of characters, they're like that, but do you know how they get away with it? With like humor. Like sometimes authors just like saturate these kind of characters with humor and that works out. But like that wasn't the case with Gray, and I feel like he was just lacked a little bit of depth, I feel, you know.
yeah, I see that. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Also, let's talk about the side plot with Alaric and Katerina,
DE and Katerina.
and Cat and D. That's true. What were your thoughts on that? Please tell.
Mm-hmm.
Or no
So
thoughts.
yeah, I just no thoughts, mine empty. Coding took all of it out of it. Yeah. So in the past few days, something really bad has happened to me, which I feel like a knife has cut through my brain and has just like taken out everything, and put it into my R analysis assignment, and now I can't think because my brain empty. Put all of it into R. Anyway, yeah. Uh, no, I do have
So,
thoughts. I do have
okay,
thoughts. A lot.
share them, please.
Ooh, feather. There's just a feather.
What?
There's just a feather.
What?
Like a really thin, translucent feather.
Why is there a feather?
I don't
Oh my
know.
goodness.
There's just a thin. Okay. I'm falling from the ceiling. I don't know. Tooth fairy is coming to visit me.
It's clear
Um,
your brain has been wiped out.
yes.
Yeah,
Wiped
that's
clean
good.
like my code. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
But
So this is. I love Greta Gerwig movies. Have you watched like Lady Bird or like
the one with Saoirse Ronan.
yeah
No,
or
I've heard.
like Little Women?
Yes, I've read. I watched Little Women, the one with her in
Right.
it.
Right. So Greta Gerwig, because I'm a big fan of her work, she has this like directing mentality that when she writes, she wants to write stories where every single character seems like they could have their own individual movie or individual like story. I felt that about this movie, about this book. Like I felt like each of the characters had like points of interest and enough quirks to have their own story. De Alaric, Katarina, I feel like they could all be main characters of their own story. Rahul and the other French guy as well. Like I feel like they could also have been characters of their own stories. They all had like they were all lovable, but also had character flaws that they could get over and learn from. The only issue is because I think of the way the book was structured. The only people that actually got those stories fleshed out, because it's a book, you know, we want side plots. Um, the only side plot that actually got fleshed out was the Katarina, Elric, and De one. And I feel like because just purely because De was in the main squad, I feel like De was the only character that got a full character arc outside of all the other characters, which I find is so interesting because like usually books it's all or nothing. Like you know you have books that have like a dozen side plots. See Cassandra Clare, and they're all lovable. Like we love every single side plot, right? And then we have books that are like very centric to like the two characters. But here you have characters that like could have side plots, and then you just have like one character that has a side plot. You know, like this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what
I
to
can
think
see
about
that.
that.
Yeah. This book is actually a series. Book one.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How many books are there?
I don't know. No, this is the first in the series. It's recent.
Is there
But
more?
there
I
will
would
be.
like I would like to see how Gray's character like where Gray's character could possibly go.
That's true. I think the next one is about Katarina.
Oh, I want that actually.
I'm going
Katarina's
on.
so interesting. I also want one about Rahu, but I guess he's gonna be in the Katarina one. I like that. Oh my god, I like that.
It's their next book. She's
I
next. And then
yeah,
the book three is gonna be Isha's book.
Isha. I feel like Isha could also have a story about her.
I mean, she
But
is because it's
yeah,
gonna be published in 2022.
I hope so. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Isha's an interesting character, but also like she's not that interesting.
Okay, I feel like we didn't get a lot of her. Like all
Yeah.
we knew about her was that, she was Jaya's sister and that she had a
Free
scandal
spirit.
and then she
She's a
likes
free spirit,
engineering. Yes, and
you
she's
know.
very free-spirited.
I,
That's like
she's interesting.
so
Yeah, she's
I
interesting.
think yeah, she probably has a lot of interesting stuff behind
Mhm.
her. But we never actually got to see it during
Mhm.
the story.
I'm just a question though, because the next book I'm reading the description now, it starts with Katerina Lavelle is still determined to show she's the queen. Wait, is determined to show she's still the queen of Saint Rosetta's Academy. Uh, I thought they were seniors.
I thought they were seniors too. That's actually interesting. Or maybe because it's the beginning, it was technically the beginning of the school year for them as
Uh
seniors, so
huh.
maybe it's a
But I thought
direct
they
continuation.
ended. Oh, never mind.
I
You're
think it was
right.
winter time.
It's definitely not the end of the school year, and I know
Yeah.
why. You know why? Because they're
Why?
seniors and nothing about college has come up.
I don't get it.
They're seniors and nothing about college has come up. Because you know how at the end of school, like end of the school year, like especially in books, they're just like everyone gets into Harvard,
Mhm.
and then like they go off to Harvard in the scattered blinking sunset. Like no, like there hasn't been a single like. Also, X, not realistic, not realistic. No mention of college apps, which means that not realistic, not realistic. Anyway, sorry.
True. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think this is just set into an alternate reality.
yeah,
You
it's okay.
think?
They're rich kids. They don't need to go to college. Anyway, I'm also.
No,
Oh,
but
here's some.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
go on,
Yeah,
go on.
they're all rich. No. I was gonna say, but they might not all be rich, but no, they're all rich. There's only one
One scholarship.
scholarship kid.
Yeah, he could also have a story about himself. Oh, he's getting one, I think. Anyway, here's an interesting thing. I'm reading the description for the next book, and apparently, what happens is Rahul chances upon a mysterious pot of hair gel with the power to alter the wearer into whatever his heart desires. And that kind of sounds a little bit like satire to me, uh, almost because it's so over the top. But that poses an interesting question of like, to what degree is magic real in this world? Because it's never explicitly explained, you know. Because
Mhm.
like Gray basically circumvents with a loophole the curse, but because of that, we never actually get to see how strong the curse is, other than the fact that like the diamonds fell. Like there's no other than that, there is no other thing to establish that like magic could exist. Like what they could have done is they could have been like, oh, Rao's grandmother might have been like a witch, and like or to just like maybe put in our heads a little bit more that it could be a little bit more realistic, and that, or like there's been another curse and it was terrible, and that is fresh in their minds because um the whole plot, it's just like Rao is just like, no, curses aren't real. Science, technology, let's be commonsensical, which makes perfect sense. That's a great tension, but they don't really go into it. They just show like the curse happening, which could have been like yeah, I just feel like it was really glossed over. And then at the end, that was a loophole, so I never really got to see like how real magic is. You know.
Mhm. True. Like we get the history of like their family,
Mhm.
why they hate each other, but technically we
Yeah.
don't know
Hmm.
the actual truth about the curse and like if it's real, if like magic is real or not. That's true.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't think about that.
Okay. Oh. Oh. So each set of characters, they are based on a different fairy tale. So
Yeah. Yes.
yes. So which
Wait.
one is the second one based on? I'm sorry. I just like Katarina as a character a lot more than I like anyone else because she's just so interesting. You know, there could be so much of it.
Maybe she's Cinderella, but Rahul is
Yeah, that was what I'm thinking.
Cinderella, and then
Yeah, yeah. Also, like, how does she find such good names? Like, Alaric is like, when you hear the name Alaric, you know he's scummy. Like, you just know it. You know? Like, I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, that's true. We don't have a lot of people named Alaric.
Dude, I searched up the name Alaric, so it's a Germanic name, but the only notable people named Alaric are ancient kings and fictional characters.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Ancient kings and fictional people. I mean, yes, that's true because Vampire Diaries is a
Mm-hmm.
TV series and that's not real. And there's a
Did you watch
character
it?
named Alaric. I did, I did. I
Oh, I
guess,
just looked it
yeah,
up.
it makes sense now.
I just searched it up.
Oh my god.
Is it good?
Uh, I liked it, but I don't know. Like, it really
Okay.
depends on the person, I think.
Okay. Because I'm watching like an Irish mafia show right now.
What is this Irish mafia show, please?
It's called Peaky Blinders.
Is that on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's real cool.
Peaky Blinders, Netflix.
It's about an actual Irish gang.
Oh wait, it's Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
Jill. Anyway, I don't know his name.
Killian Murphy.
Cillian.
Yes.
That actually makes so much more sense.
I don't know why. I'm just kind of obsessed with like Irish people.
Why?
I don't know.
I like their accents.
I think it's the accent.
Yeah.
But I'm also like obsessed with multiple Irish people. And I also like I have moments where I'm just going down like Wikipedia rabbit holes of random Irish people. Like random Irish historical figures.
Oh my god.
I could. I mean,
that.
I already delivered to you my spiel on Oscar Wilde, and obviously, I felt really happy when like Cassandra Clare came out with Matthew Fairchild, who was like obsessed with Oscar Wilde, because I was like, someone gets my obsession finally. Anyway, his life is so interesting, and so recently I've been obsessed with. Her name is so hard to spell. Let me see.
Can you say it?
I
Or is
will
it hard to
find it.
pronounce?
I will find it. So it's Constance. It's Constance Markievicz, I believe. She's the first MP in British history, member of Parliament, and she's an Irish member of Parliament, and she had a really interesting life. And then the second one I was obsessed with was actually her friend, and I love. Wait, let me see if I can find. Okay, her friend's name is Maud Gonne. She's an Irish-born suffragette, and my favorite part of her is that she was the muse of W. B. Yeats, the poet Yeats, She was his muse. He proposed to her 4 times, and she turned him down each time. And her reasoning, and he told her he will never be happy without her. And her reply was, "Yes, you are, because you make beautiful poetry out of what you call unhappiness, and you are happy in that. Marriage would be such a dull affair. Poets should never marry. The world should thank me for not marrying you." Yeah. Sorry, that was a really big tangent. Sorry.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
So there's Maud Gonne, which is Maud, and then Gonne. Yeah. It's yeah. Oh, and her son got a Nobel Peace Prize.
That's very impressive.
So interesting. So interesting. It's like how I feel like smart people, sometimes if you search into their family history, they're related to other smart people. Like Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein, her mother was also like a famous writer. And her she didn't know her mom. Like her mom died, I believe, either in childbirth or when she was really young. But
I think it was when she was really young.
Right? But
Yeah.
it's still like transferred, That's just really cool. I'm not actually into history. I'm just into watching historical movies. Yeah.
I like learning about history and like reading about history, and I love historical fiction books and movies, but I don't think I'd ever take history as like a major.
Yeah.
I hate history classes. But I like learning about history. I think that's fun. It's just
I like finding these like
hidden moments throughout history,
obscure figures, and then inserting magic into them. Like not magic, but like finding what's interesting, I don't know. I approach history very differently from like a social studies kid, Whew. Okay. Is there any more about like Curses and Kisses we can talk about?
Yeah, there's still a lot about of Curses and Kisses.
On,
we just apparently chose to diverge from that.
Sorry.
Let's talk about Gray and Jaya together.
I didn't really see the chemistry. Not that much. Yeah. How about you? I think you should talk because I didn't really see any chemistry between them.
Okay. Obviously, we know that I like romance. I think in the beginning, I did see chemistry. Not a lot. Not very strong. Like definitely their hate for, Jaya's hate for Gray was strong. And obviously it was like typical that she'd fall in love with him because, it's like we're hanging out a lot. It's just going to happen. There were just some points where I think they could have been stronger together, obviously. But I really liked the way they connected. I think that was probably, like they talked. Some parts they didn't, and it was stupid. But yeah, I think, I enjoyed it. I think they were very interesting, and I like how they grew their friendship, even though the whole time Jaya's intention was to figure out whether or not Gray was the actual person behind her sister's scandal. But I like the way they connected. I think that was nice.
Oh, let's talk about the scandal plot twist.
Yes,
I thought it was kind of obvious. Like in my mind, there are only two possible people it could have been. It was the scummy guy.
The Lark?
No. The scummy royal dude, like Jaya's betrothed, like the scummy betrothed guy.
Kieran.
Kieran or Kyron or Yeah. Or Isha herself, because I was like thinking it would be really cool if Isha leaked it herself so that she could get out of like, that environment. So that I thought that would have been cool as well. But it was Kieran, and I think that was like that's okay. It's I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't say it's an unexpected plot twist, but I would say like it's a good choice for the plot. But I did think like and can I just say I love those moments of heartache the most. Like I love it when like the characters are like getting tortured like emotionally. So like when like it's not that I'm like smiling and I'm over the rainbow, but it's so interesting. It's like it's like my eyes just like to it, So when Kieran was like, I know the phone call thing is like kind of cliche, but when Kieran was on the phone call with Gray, I was like, oh, it's happening. And
I
I
was so scared. I was like, oh, I was cringing inside. I was just like, I smelled this from a mile away.
but like those are the moments I like the most, and I don't know what that says about me, but like, whew.
It's concerning. But I don't, honestly, okay, truthfully, I didn't really think about the scandal and like who actually did it. So like usually I would have like during whenever I watch crime shows with my mom. Usually I think about who killed who or who did the crime. But in this book, for some reason, maybe it's just because I was doing other work while doing it, while listening to it. So I didn't really think about the scandal and who actually did it. So I didn't really think about it being Kieran, So for some reason that shocked me. But obviously I wasn't really focusing. So
Right. Yeah. Like I think like it was pretty obvious it wasn't Gray from the start.
Yes, that was obvious.
Yeah.
True.
And I think so like there's pros and cons to it. So I think we found out because like we had to find out because like Gray was a perspective, which I think like yes, maybe keeping it to Jaya's perspective could have broadened or not broadened, could have like increased the tension and mystery in the character Gray. But I feel like having Gray as a perspective was also interesting.
So rather than dual POV, you would have been okay with just Jaya's.
I think so. I did like Jaya's POV more than I liked Gray's. And I felt like the only reason why Gray was in there was just for like to change the pace. But I feel like that's also not a bad reason. Just because I feel like a lot of Jaya's like character arc, like she had one character expand throughout the book, right? Which I think is a good pacing. But if you concentrate every single perspective, like every single chapter, every single page, to her perspective, then she would have to run through like multiple arcs just to make it not like the pacing not to be so awkward. So I feel like for what like the book set out to achieve, I think the two perspectives was a good idea. But I also feel like that took out a lot of the mystery in Gray as a character because you're being thrust into his perspective. And that might be the reason why his characterization is so dashed. Because like on one hand you want to create mystery around him, but on the other hand like you're also pulling the reader straight into his perspective, So
I see.
Yeah.
That's true. Like, I think it definitely would have left more mystery if we just had Jaya's point of view.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it was interesting to see from Gray's perspective, especially when he found out that, like, when Kieran called him. I think that was, like, an oh shoot moment.
Yeah, I like that.
Like, oh. Like,
It's like, it's going down.
So I like that. But I think there were some parts where, like, when they were talking about the curse and everything, I think I would have solely loved Jaya's POV from that.
Yeah.
So I think having
Uh-huh.
hints of Gray's point of view from like sprinkled randomly throughout the book rather than having like each chapter have both of their point of views would have been a little more interesting.
I think okay. Um, maybe could have also expanded DE's role. Because she's like she's the only side character that got a whole arc. So I feel like, and I also like I love her main tension. You know, like I love her main conflict. It's like I know it's wrong to help someone cheat on their girlfriend, but I'm so starved of attention that I feel like I have to. That's super interesting. Like I feel like
Oh,
it would be really cool to write her perspective, you know.
yeah. Actually, I
And
would have enjoyed if Daphne had her own story.
mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I think that would have been nice.
Mm-hmm. And just what else? Uh, let's see. What else can we talk about? Um,
Flipping through the book right now.
I read it. I read it on like my phone in the morning, like on the MRT and stuff.
Yeah. I mainly listen to the audiobook,
Mm-hmm.
as I mentioned earlier, mainly just because it was easier for me. And for some reason, I've had no time to actually pick up a book,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of sad. And
Mm-hmm.
I really wish.
I also feel like okay, this book, like if you just look at the way it moves, it kind of like it's that kind of story. Like the end goal of the story is the relationship, like the start of the relationship, right? Which I guess is
Mhm.
interesting, but
I feel
yeah.
like I kind of wish that Jaya at some point told Gray the truth rather than holding out for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Because he told her about the curse, and then it's like that is
Yeah,
his only secret. Like I don't think he has any other secret,
yeah,
right? So I kind of do wish that she like actually told him about like everything. And she or like towards the end of the book, she was like, okay, Gray had like nothing to do with the scandal. He probably didn't even know about it. I was like, yeah, you could totally tell him by that point.
mm-hmm.
Like,
'Cause, okay, what I have observed is I feel like sometimes okay, this is slightly different. However, like I wouldn't want to be friends with any of the characters. Like I enjoy reading about them, but I don't think I would want to be friends with any of them. Did
like
you?
a person with that type of
Yeah, yeah,
personality.
yeah. I feel like sometimes Jail is just a little bit like why are you doing this? Like why are you like this? You know, uh, like because especially when like her whole motivation was like revenge, right? Um, but like it wasn't. How do I say this? I feel like she. I don't know. I just felt like the revenge was kind of out of place because like even the way she went around doing it was like
Not very revengey.
yeah, because like it was made out to be this like grand big revenge. Like the setup was really good. Like she loves her sister. Her sister was hurt. Wanted. What's that sound?
Hmm?
There's like a very like a there's a very loud sound that's like
I don't know.
okay. Anyway,
I'm not sure.
uh, oh there went. Do you hear it?
Okay, it's me cleaning my keyboard then. I
Okay.
didn't know it'd pick up. What the heck? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Proceed. I just won't do
Okay. No,
that.
it's fine. Okay. Okay. Anyway, All right. So, like, okay, it was made out to be this very big revenge because, like, Jaya loves her sister, and her sister got really hurt. But like, number one, we don't really see her sister getting hurt so much. If anything, like, I think her sister is happier in this new environment. So it felt like the revenge was like more for herself than for her sister, which is fine, which could be interesting. But she kind of never really went into it as well. And secondly, like, I felt she just wasn't like spiteful or evil enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. She just
Like,
didn't seem to have like a mean bone in her body,
yeah,
like
yeah,
to really
like,
do any revengey stuff.
yeah, like the meanest thing she did was like lie about her archery abilities. You know,
Yes.
and like, reminder, I read this book right after, like, I came out reading from, what's that called? The Cruel Prince trilogy.
Yeah.
And so my mind was like fresh with like
Like
Jude and all
Jude
like
and
the
everything.
machinations. And then like I come into like Jaya just being like,
Trying to do revenge, but
yeah,
really not actually doing great
yeah,
in
just
revenge.
yeah.
I have to agree with that.
Mhm.
Her revenge could have been better. I think in general, the way she went about like
Mhm.
falling in love for him and then breaking his heart, like she could have done a better job.
Yeah. I I also just feel like uh I don't know. I also don't get why she fell in love with him. Like, I don't see it because it was basically like instant attraction, right? But like it didn't go any deeper than
I
that.
mean, was it instant attraction?
I mean, kind of, but not really. Like, you could tell it was instant, but she was in denial. That's what I would say.
Hmm,
Hmm.
I can see that. Yeah, like they were cute as friends, probably, but their relationship was a bit unusual. Like I
Yeah,
think there are like this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. There are like
yeah.
thousands of Beauty and the Beast retellings out there that probably do a better job.
It's just
But
like
I think I
without. Yeah,
go ahead, go
yeah.
ahead.
Okay. Because I was just thinking, like, without this curse to dig into, what would their regular date activities be like?
True. Now that it's over,
Yeah. And the
what
problem
would
is
their
because,
relationship be like? Because it'd
yeah,
be like
would they just go ice skiing?
every day, just whenever they have to hang out, just ice skate
Yeah. Yeah,
or
this
ski.
skiing, ice skating,
Talk about books,
jewelry shopping.
nonfiction books specifically. That's the talk. I don't know. That's true. They didn't really have maybe archery because I think they both liked it.
Yeah,
Kind of.
I guess, but it's not like, I don't
It's not
know.
very strong.
Like, I don't know, like when you think of like bonding or like in a relationship, like in books, like what are some like great romances? Like Percy and Annabeth, like their
Oh,
banter, like they don't have
yes.
any common interests, but their banter is just like,
Yeah, like they're
you know,
polar opposites,
yeah,
but then
yeah.
they're really great.
Yeah, like they
That's
have so much fun with each other, and it makes it so powerful because they can have so much fun with each other, right?
Yeah.
You
Even
know,
though that's
hmm
true, that's true.
right? Um, and I don't know, for like Will and Tessa, for example, they're just gonna talk about books, like like they don't need anything else, and that's good enough for them, right?
Mhm.
But like for Jaya and Gray, I just feel like what are they gonna do after this?
Mm,
You know?
yeah. Like, yeah, I get what you're talking about. Like, they had hobbies, like Will and Tessa. They had their books, and then Percy and Annabeth. They had their adventures, and then
Hmm.
like being total opposites, and Percy being the
Hmm.
funny man he is. But like,
It just,
great. They're also high schoolers
yeah. You
in
know what it
this
is?
world. Hmm?
I don't we they don't really have fun with each other. We never really get to see them just like having fun. It's always like plot tension.
Well, but when they went skiing.
Yeah, maybe they did.
But then that's wintertime.
Yeah.
Unless it like snows every day there.
No, but then they kissed, right? And so that just like that makes it like different, right? Like it's not like they were just bantering or just like enjoying each other's company.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I just, yeah, Gray never really seemed to jump out of the page for me. Like, I think Jaya did. Like, I could see Jaya as a real person. I could see DE as a real person. I could, Katarina, I could see Katarina as a real person.
To be honest, I wasn't like a huge fan of Daphne. I think she was an okay side character. Yeah. Like sometimes she was just kind of getting on my nerves.
Like, okay, as I said, I wouldn't be friends with any of them, but I appreciate how they're written, you know? But I just would not be friends with any of them, you know?
Yeah. Maybe Isha.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. No, Isha's, no. She's
maybe
cool.
Maybe Isha without the scandal.
No, not Isha without the scandal. No? It's just like,
just no, her in general.
I feel like, okay, I don't know enough about her yet. And I also feel like she's, like, if I were to actually know her, I feel like I would be intimidated by her. You know?
You would be intimidated by her? Really?
I get intimidated by everyone. Kind of, yeah. Like only this year have I been like anyway, like I've been making a conscious effort this year to talk to people I've been scared of, basically. But yeah, like anyway.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm actually really interested into seeing where Isha's story goes.
Yeah. I want to see Katarina and Rahul because I think they're so different.
Like, if you see their interaction, Katarina was like, yeah, I definitely wouldn't date him at all because he's not my type.
Yeah.
So, like, where would their story go? You know?
That's so interesting.
Where do they go from, where do they go from, like, I wouldn't date him ever, like, one dance was one dance, to, like, having their own story together, you know?
Yeah, but I also just feel like their characters are so different, and their characters are so strong. You know,
so maybe they're opposites, and that's why they
connect. Like I want to see like how this shy boy like ends up with this like
rich queen, like like a rich, pretty, fashiony,
without intimidating. Like she goes out of her way to intimidate people.
Yeah. And she's like, very confident and outgoing.
Like, I think the thing with Isha is I don't see how her book could, like, where her book could go. Because I feel like a lot of the things, like, I feel like she didn't actually have a lot of problems in this book. And I feel like her relationship is stable,
Yeah. I think further down the line, if she got a story, that'd be great. But I feel like as a book 3, like maybe book 3 could have been a Daphne story, to see what happened to Daphne, because Isha is like a freshman and they're all seniors. So if there's like a spin-off where it's like Isha and her story, her grade, I think that would have been very interesting. Or maybe just her book at the very end, like the very last book is just her book,
Either that or the French guy would actually be interesting, and his jam mogul. I'm saying that because I just made jam today, but and his like jam mogul, and his like jam mogul like love interest,
love for
because he's that character, he's that character.
He's one of those lovable side characters.
Never a main character, but he's that character,
I do want to see what happened to him. That's true. Like, does he maybe he won't even end up with his jam loving side character.
Maybe he doesn't need anyone to end up with. Yeah. Maybe it's just a bromance story between him and Rahul.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, maybe
But
he's a
honestly,
side plot character in the second book.
true. But
Maybe.
what Katarina, like, Rahul doesn't go with their, like, cahoot. I mean, cahoot? Cohort. That's the
Cohort.
word. Not cahoot.
Dun,
I
dun,
said
dun, dun,
cahoot.
dun, 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 dun.
Oh my god, cahoot. It's
Are
been
you
so
sure?
long.
That was a bit fast. Anyway.
Oh my
Kahoot makes
god.
me very nervous. Anyway.
Cahoot makes everybody nervous. But as I was saying, Rahul just never fell into their group. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Leo, is his name actually Leo?
Who are you talking about?
Leo, the French.
Was his name Leo? I forgot
Yeah,
his
yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
But
Leo.
it's
It's Leo.
yeah.
It's Leo, and the jam lover is Samantha.
I mean, he's. What is it with a certain kind of character and them being named Leo? Like, I just. What is it? Like, what is.
I don't know.
What is it?
All the side characters are Leos.
Not just
Cute.
that. Like, it's a very specific archetype. You know?
Mm.
Oh, you know what would be interesting? You know how like Leo kind of almost like shelters Rahul? Like that would be an interesting relationship to dig into. You know? And I hope to see
Like,
more of it.
okay.
Yeah.
I think the relationship between Leo and Samantha, the two jam lovers, to be honest, I felt it was kind of plain.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they're
Okay.
side characters, and maybe they were plain for a reason. But like,
Okay, I felt like the romance was like, was it even needed? You know? Like
yeah,
Samantha
that's true.
isn't needed. Like Leo isn't plot relevant, but he's a treat. Like he's fun to read about, you know? But I feel like Samantha, just like if she didn't exist, like nothing would happen. You know? Like I wouldn't like the book any more or any less. And I also wouldn't like it wouldn't affect the plot, you know?
Mm-hmm. And okay, to be honest, like the only reason I felt like that they were dating or whatever they were even doing was just because they wanted to be in a relationship, Like you could
Yeah.
hear that Leo basically
Yeah.
wanted to find
Yeah.
someone. So it's like,
Yeah.
so it's like
That would be an interesting to go into, but it was not. It was not like the author did not go into it. So maybe for the next book, maybe, maybe. But
I feel like there definitely could be more stories about the Saint Rosetta group of friends. And to be honest, I do want to see what happens to Alaric.
yeah,
That might be like looked into deeper with Katarina's story. So
yeah,
I'm actually really interested in hearing
yeah,
how that is.
yeah. But I think, I mean, I think a lot of the thing is that there were so many hints for like future character plots, but this was so deep into Jaya and Gray's story that like I don't have any like strong emotional attachment to any other character, Like Katarina is interesting and I like her character archetype, but I don't know what distinguishes Katarina from any other like rich girl archetype other than the idea. Like I'm very intrigued for how this like rich snobby girl ends up with like this shy small cinnamon roll, Like I'm very interested in that. And I want to see how she grows towards that. But I just like how is she different from like any other typical mean girl,
And speaking of Mean Girls, I just didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't seem like Katarina just didn't have that very mean girly vibes. Like she was mean, kind
Mhm.
of. She just never gave me like a really
Yeah.
mean
She wasn't
mean
manipulative
vibes.
enough. Yeah. You
Yes,
know?
she wasn't mean enough.
Yeah. It's not like Regina George and like, you know, like the whole setup
General
of it.
girl
Yeah.
stuff kind of thing.
Like if we're looking at like Regina George, because I am very, very into Mean Girls and Regina George. It's like if you want to write a good Mean Girl, they also have to be the smartest person in the room. You know,
True.
like that is the point. You know, but
Yeah,
oh
because
yeah,
like obviously you need the brains to be mean to someone to
yeah,
like
hmm
push them and bully and
hmm
manipulate
yeah.
and take revenge on. That's true.
And I also feel like with like okay when there's like a high school plot, you want to know about like popularity as well. You know, like Katarina is like you're told that she's popular, but like
Yeah.
it's never really shown that she is popular, and it's also never really shown like why she's popular, you know, because like the best Mean Girls like Regina George and all that, they're written in a way where they're shown how they amass that much followers because they know when to be sweet and when to be charming, right, and then when to just be like mean enough that you start idolizing them, right. But I feel like with Katarina, like no one's gonna like her as is, you know.
Like her book.
Like, no, her personality. Like, in high school. Like, why would
Interesting.
Katarina be popular? You know,
That's true.
right?
Yeah. I think okay, some Gray I think could have had a better character development and just in general background, like present day background rather than like
Yeah.
past, right? And like Katarina could have been a little better. Isha, I wish we knew a little bit more
Yeah.
about.
I agree.
Like Leo and maybe even Rahul. But
Hmm.
obviously, like because I feel like we barely knew what he
Yeah.
was there for. Like he was just a person
Hmm.
Katarina danced
Yeah.
with.
I
That's what
know.
I remember him for.
Yeah.
And like so I think this book definitely could have had more
Hmm.
features to their
Yeah.
characters rather
Hmm.
like I get it was like Jaya and Gray's story, but then I do
Hmm.
wish that
Hmm.
like their story was a little bit
Yeah.
stronger.
Like, I feel like all of the characters were archetypes except from Jaya and DE. I didn't really like DE that much, but I have to say, like, I can't put a finger on what archetype she is, you know? And I just feel like I'm interested in the surrounding characters because they have interesting archetypes and they're just enough hints to show us that there's more. But I also feel like either I also feel like because Gray was almost so much of an archetype and he's a main character, like I almost like defaulted to being interested in the side characters instead, and then
Mm,
like nothing really happened with them.
yeah, I see that.
Hmm.
Yeah, but even okay, even I feel like Daphne didn't really get a lot of stuff to her.
Yeah,
Like I feel like we barely knew her. The only thing we
yeah,
knew her was that she was Gray's friend and
yeah,
that she was
yeah.
like she was with Alaric.
Hmm. Oh, you know what? I never felt that they were like a friend group. Is the
Really?
thing. Okay, because okay, Gray is not very tight with them. Like it's shown that he's kind of excluded a little bit from the group, right? Rahul, I feel like, is also a little bit out of it. Like I feel like Rahul is just there to be friends with Leo, and then it's just like Leo and Daphne. But it's never
Oh
really shown
wait,
that. Yeah, it's never really
was
shown that.
Rahul in their friend group?
Yeah, Rahul was in their friend group.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. And then other than that, it was just Leo and Daphne, right? And you would think that because they're the only two that's like very outgoing within the friend group, they'd be tighter, but they're not. And then there's Jaya. That's new. So I never really got like the friend group vibe, you know?
Yeah, I didn't realize Rahul's role was actually a lot bigger.
Yeah, he was in the friend group. He was in the
He
friend
was in
group.
the friend group the whole time, and I didn't even realize.
Yeah. And like he was introduced in the first scene as well.
Uh, I love her. I forgot that. Though I do
Yeah.
have to agree, they just didn't
Mhm.
seem very close.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Gray like intentionally pushed them away too.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even tell
Mhm.
them anything.
Which then leads me to ask, like, why them? You know, if he's such a loner, why choose them? And another thing, they're seniors, right? But they seem to have no memories and of friendships in like sophomore year or junior year or freshman year. It's like all of them were transplanted into senior year and then just had memories running from there onwards. You know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
I just
Like
realized that. Yeah.
any past like interactions
Yeah.
with like, each other,
Mhm.
as a friend group, you would think that
Yeah.
stuff back then.
Yeah. Like I think the only thing we know is that like DE tells them about her love life and that's it.
And like they play games.
Yeah, they play
I mean,
games.
they kind of play games. Like, is it playing games? I can't.
Is it
Even...
mentioned that Gray plays video games with Rahul and like I feel like Gray plays games with video games with specifically video games with Rahul and
I
Leo.
feel like that too. I mean, why would they add it?
Yeah.
As part of the story. Where
I
is
feel
it?
like that's a cute addition, but also like they could have gone deeper in it.
Yeah. Okay. Here, it's chapter 16.
Oh,
Push
yeah.
X. No, not Y. Push X. X. Rahul yelled. They were lounging in one of the entertainment rooms at St. R's a couple days later. Leo and Rahul had invited him, like they still did occasionally, and then they had looked shocked when he'd accepted their invitation.
Yeah. Gamers. I guess that makes sense. I have a couple of friends that like guy friends that they just tell me like they have friendships that are just gaming. Like nothing deeper than that. Which I guess could be it, but then like you have to show that like how that friendship happened, it's like never shown how. Like how am I supposed to believe that a loner like Gray would be friends with them like without explanation? Because I feel like with gaming, it's very easy to just be surface level friends. Like it's just someone to play a game with, right? But then maybe there could be an origin story, of how they met, how they became friends.
Yeah, and to be honest, chapter 16, like the part I just read, I don't think Gray was even playing. I think he was just there in the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Just like
Mm-hmm.
just in the room, just there, just watching
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Gray could have been a better character,
Yeah.
but I think it was enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
To an extent.
It's fun. It's fun. Like you're never bored.
Yeah, like it was a cute young adult book
Yeah.
that I think people would enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, it's usually like new adult or adult,
Mm-hmm.
like romance.
Yeah. It's nothing revolutionary, but it's fun.
True. And
Yeah,
also
like you
very
won't
interesting.
you won't leave reading this bored or disappointed. You'll
Mm-hmm.
just kind of
Yeah.
you'll just kind of leave knowing that it could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And like also, okay, damn, I forgot everything. Apparently, give me a moment. I forgot everything. I forgot. We're gonna move on.
I'm sure the background music helped a lot.
It didn't. It made it worse. I just forgot everything.
Uh,
Yeah. It's a cute book.
it's cute. I think okay, the thing is, I feel like it's a good read if you're very stressed out and you need something to like just relax and
Light
chill.
and fluffy and
Yeah,
also
yeah,
enjoyable because it's Beauty and the
yeah,
Beast and a
yeah.
lot of people like Beauty and the
But like
Beast.
it's not gonna be your favorite book. And that's okay. You know?
That's
Yeah.
true. Unless you're a young person.
Yeah. If this is like
And
the
maybe
first
you'd
YA
enjoy
novel you
it.
read, maybe.
If yeah. And if you're not analyzing it,
Yeah. I mean,
like we kind of are doing at this
is
moment.
this what you usually do? Because like I exclusively watch like analysis, like booktube. Or like those like rant reviews, or like either that or like those blow off steam read with me videos where like it's a really really intense, very emotional or very good book, and then immediately after the booktuber just has to scream to the camera for like 50 minutes. um if not, life cannot go on.
I don't watch those videos. Actually, to be honest, I haven't been watching a lot of booktube videos, mainly because of time, and just time
Mhm.
has not put me on YouTube very
Yeah,
often these days. But
like I
usually I
watch.
would
Yeah,
read book hauls
like what
and
I do
be
is
jealous.
what I do is like I read the book and then I'll go watch for like a review of it.
Mhm.
You know, yeah,
That's interesting. So like to hear what the
yeah,
person thought about the
yeah,
book and like did you
yeah,
agree or
yeah. But
you know
mhm.
yeah.
I know it sounded like I had a lot of thoughts about Cruel Prince when I texted you when I finished it, but actually I was just watching your review and then I was like replying to what you said in your review in text to you. So
Uh, I did
yeah,
enjoy that. Although, like, at the time, I was just reading Full Prince.
yeah.
So, to be honest, that
What's the
video,
next book in this? What's the next book?
it's called Of Princesses and,
No, no, of your book club.
oh, I don't know yet. That will happen tomorrow morning
Oh,
when I'm awake and I'm just like, let's start planning, that type of thing.
can we do Little Fires Everywhere?
I have not. I think that's something that I want to read in the future, you know?
Yeah, can we do it?
I don't know, dude. We'll put it in vote and we'll see what
Yeah,
people vote.
maybe.
You can vote for it. Like, you can do the vote if you want.
I also find it interesting because it's like it's a book where like the writer is Asian, but the main character also isn't. You know?
Like an Asian author, but
Yeah,
not in an Asian
like the main
character.
character isn't main character. Yeah,
Hmm.
because I feel like almost like if you're an Asian writer, like you're almost pressured into writing an Asian character as your main character. You know?
I mean, yes and no.
Either that or it's only those stories that get famous.
What do you mean?
Mm, like it's very rare for like an Asian author to just write a story about a character that isn't Asian. Like a main character, you know. And I feel like if we are going to just in a very broad kind of racial sense, if we're gonna make it a trend or almost like a industry standard to have like white people write about white characters and then Asian people write about Asian characters and then like black people write about black characters and like Latino character authors write about Latino characters. It's gonna like like the level of representation isn't gonna change that much, because it's just like the demographic, you know. Anyway, like I had a friend for his catalyst for his project. He wrote a book and his main character was Asian. Um, And then when he went to his mentor told him to change the character to white because he was white and because they want to save a space for an Asian author to write about an Asian character, which it's like, it's also fair, but it's almost like you're also restricting people to like, you can only write about your race, which I just, like, I don't
That's
think
true.
that's very helpful. Yeah.
Like you should be able to write your own characters.
Yeah.
Even though everybody will have their own
Yeah.
opinion as to why you created that
Yeah.
character.
I think there are limits. You know, you shouldn't write about things that are too unfamiliar, you know? But like you could, like, if you know a friend that is of similar background, you can just ask your friend, right? Or like have your friend read through it or something, you know? Because I feel like when it's fiction, your dedication isn't always for it to be authentic, but for it to be like believable enough that the reader isn't bothered by it, and then it's just your story that takes the main precedent, you know. I mean, it depends. Like, I think it's a little much if you're like writing about like this, like I don't know, if your book is about racism that you've not experienced, you know. But if it's just like a high school book or like a fantasy book, like as long as it's believable enough, I don't think it's an issue, you know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I had a really good conversation with you.
Thank you. Me too.
I think we're burned out of talking about Of Curses and Kisses.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think,
Yeah.
truthfully, I had said everything that I needed to say.
Yeah, me too.
Right. Yeah. But
Right.
yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody, for
You're
coming.
welcome.
And please like and subscribe, and also comment down below what you guys liked about the video and what you guys thought about Of Curses and Kisses.
And any books.
Yes, and if you have any book recommendations, comment that down below too. So thank you guys so much for coming.
Yes.
And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.